Welcome back. One final point before we go tonight. What the mainstream media was afraid to tell you about the news this week. This week, while the mainstream media obsessed about President Trump's Twitter feud with outgoing Senator Bob Corker, this is what really happened. The state of California lowered the penalty for people who knowingly transmit HIV to another person. It used to be a felony, and rightly so, but Governor Jerry Brown signed a law that waters it down to a mere misdemeanor. So much for protecting innocent people in his state. Did you hear about this from the mainstream media? No, you didn't. The mainstream media refused to cover the story because it shows Governor Brown to be the pandering politician he is. It took Hillary Clinton 5 days to condemn serial sexual harasser Harvey Weinstein after news broke about Weinstein's abuse of women. 5 days. This is the same woman who claims all sexual assault victims should be believed and supported. The same woman who condemned President Trump when it took Trump 1 day to disavow KKK member David Duke. How can liberals claim to champion women when they covered up Harvey Weinstein's abuse of women for 20 years? The mainstream media doesn't mind publishing articles by Lena Dunham blaming all men for Weinstein's behavior, but when Hillary took almost a week to condemn Weinstein's sexual abuse, the mainstream media didn't care. Another woman appointed to a cabinet-level position in the Trump administration, Kirstjen Nielsen, nominated for Secretary of Homeland Security, joins Linda McMahon, Betsy DeVos, Elaine Chao, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Kellyanne Conway, and Hope Hicks in high-level administration positions. The Republican Party really hates women. Not. Funny how the mainstream media ignores this. Christopher Columbus did not commit mass genocide against anybody. That ridiculous progressive talking point is revisionist history. Guess who started it? The KKK in the 1920s. Guess why the KKK started that false narrative? To slander Catholics and slander immigrants. It is true that 95% of indigenous peoples died in North America in the 2 centuries following Columbus arriving in 1492. But the majority of those people died from diseases. Columbus himself actually executed 2 of his men for rape and plunder. But you won't hear the historical truth from the mainstream media. Last but not least, James O'Keefe and his team of undercover journalists stung the New York Times, exposed the Gray Lady for their anti-Trump bias. Their video editor admitted their bias with his own words and with his actions. We already knew that, didn't we? The mainstream media doesn't care to report any of that to you, so we will.